Hi guys, Thursday 11th of April, just gone 12:30 here in London. Just as a quick summary, I'm sure you all heard, but the Brexit extension has now been granted until October the 31st, Halloween. So the EU has, along with the UK, agreed for an extension, flexible extension. The deal can be done beforehand, but at the moment the deadline is the 31st. Whether they stick to that or not remains to be seen. Having a look at the calendar, quiet morning, reflected in the charts as well. Going into the back end of the session in an hour's time, we have some numbers out of the US initial jobless claims, the weekly number, the PPI final demand month on month, year on year, and the core numbers for that as well, before we drift off into the afternoon. And we have a flurry of speakers out of the US to be aware of, but other than that, after a not so super Wednesday, it does seem that this afternoon might just be similar to the last. Having a look at the charts, the pound overnight didn't really do too much. You can see if I just circle the last 24 hours or so, relatively contained, as a lot of the positive of no deal being avoided is already priced into the market. So just dropping that down to 15-minute, you can see today not much going on. Similar case for euro in what has been a quiet morning. An area I would like to have a look at would be if we could get up to the R1, you would have a trend line that would meet there. You would have a Fibonacci from the FOMC on the 20th, that high, the 3.82, and also the highest from the 27th. At the moment, doesn't look like that will be coming in today, but definitely an area to be aware of. The trend line from the lows of the year, or lows of April I should say, is another one that's sort of contained in this trend channel, maybe over the coming days rather than today, looking for some dollar strength and a break of that, potentially looking to go down. But I think the situation and the sort of the feel of the markets would have to be there for this to come to play. Equities, if you have a look here, we just had another test of the 2900. The resistance here is really building. With this market destined for all-time highs, the break of that should see a decent stop run as we continue to look to push on. Here's the bigger picture. That golden cross you can see a couple of weeks ago, and 2900, just the importance, not just from the psychological handle, but is also the highs that we had the 8th and 9th of October before that breakdown 2 days later. Percentage wise, just over 1% on the Nasdaq. For the S&P, 1.62. If we get above 2900, I imagine you would get a bit of a flurry higher. Oil, let's have a look at the overall picture for oil. You can see found resistance last couple of days. Looks like it might just be finding a bit of a top around these lows that we had back in August last year. Key level to the upside, 65.70, previous low of 23rd and 29th of October that we broke down, is still an area that I would have marked up on the chart. As usual, any questions, please do let me know. But just going back to that calendar, you can see the speakers to be aware of, and then at 1:30 UK time, you have the numbers out of the US, which could potentially drive price in what has been so far a relatively quiet session.